7. The altimeter was a 6.7 feet and falling. 105.5 FM in Jessup, Big Dog Country Radio, WIFO, world famous Butch and Bob show, brought to you by Murphy Builder Supply, located on Northeast Park Street in downtown Jessup, and by Republic Services, by Jessup Premium Storage out on the Waycross Highway, and by Mike Birch Ford in Blackshear. Good morning, Bob. How's it going?
It's going.
It's going. Getting all ready for Christmas?
Just about have it done.
You do? Already?
I have about 2 or 3 more things to do today. I'll be done.
I'm impressed. I am really impressed.
I got off to an early start. Like I said, our family met up in Carolina for Thanksgiving, so I got all those nieces and nephews and sisters out of the way. So that was the big part.
Okay, so that's one of the reasons why.
Yeah, I got way ahead of schedule. So, but slowly but surely closing it out. It'll be here for 6 days away.
I know, just a few days away. Just a few.
All I want for Christmas is Georgia to blow out Oklahoma. That's what I want.
That's right. Me too.
Santa says he'll see what he can do.
So Santa will see what he can do. Huh? You already asked Santa for a big Georgia victory.
Didn't make any promises. Yeah, that's all I want. These Georgians get to the national championship game. First time since 1980. Maybe they haven't played in the Rose Bowl since 1943, back in the days of Charlie Trippi and Frank Sinkwich. They won 9-zip.
Well, that's always been like between the Pac-10 and the Big Ten for so many years until they started all this playoff stuff. So many teams haven't played out there in a long time.
It's a long time, 70-some years since they've been out in Pasadena. A lot of Wayne counties making the trip, though.
I know, I've heard about that. A lot of folks are going to make it a vacation out there.
Making a vacation hitting Pasadena. So it's just so amazing. Somebody said that they thought I was joking. I'm not joking. You have to buy a ticket to the Rose Bowl parade. They're buying tickets.
Yeah, you've got to buy. That's what you told me, and that's what I've been telling folks. You got to buy a ticket.
All those years, I thought people just showed up and watched it. I asked the thing, did they charge to go to Macy's parade? They parade in New York?
I have no idea. I've never been to either one of them.
But the people that are going to the Rose Bowl checked into the parade and were told that if you want to see the parade, you got to buy a ticket. So they bought tickets to the parade as well.
Well, how much are they?
They're pretty expensive.
Oh, they are?
Yeah.
Well, I guess they have to pay for all the security and clean up and all that kind of stuff.
They said there's a little section that you can show up and sit for free, but if you want to be on the main route, you pretty much got to buy a ticket to get to the Rose Bowl parade. So.
Okay.
Never knew that all those years watching the Rose Bowl parade.
Well, I don't have to worry about it. I'll sit in front of a TV and watch. Won't have to pay for the plane ticket out there, the hotel room, pay for the watch the parade.
But we wish all those Georgia fans from Wayne County going to Pasadena a safe trip.
Yeah, I hope you have a great time out there. Cheer those dogs on the victory.
Get us back to Atlanta.
Yeah, it would be great playing for the national championship right there in our backyard.
It's just fun watching the talking heads talk about this game. And most of them say it's going to be just a shootout, high-scoring affair. They say Georgia won't be able to stop Baker Mayfield in that offense, but they don't think Oklahoma's defense can stop Georgia's running game either. So most people you listen to, the so-called talking head experts say it's going to be a high-scoring, back-and-forth shootout. So that'll be entertaining.
Well, it'll be interesting to see, but I don't think Oklahoma's played a defense like ours either.
As I say, Baker Mayfield's pretty good, but I'll tell you, as good as that tight end that won the John Mackey Award. That's the one player I'm worried about. I don't know if anybody's like Gronkowski. I don't know if anybody's got an answer for him.
Like Big Ron.
The Steelers had no answer for Gronkowski Sunday. So that guy was a beast. I don't know if you watched any of that game.
No.
That guy was, I don't know how you cover those guys. They interviewed Pittsburgh guys in the locker room and said, why couldn't you stop him? Because he's 6'7", runs a 4.340. You go stop him.
He's huge.
You go stop him. He's a beast.
Yeah, you get out there and stop him.
That was the frustrating thing about Sunday. Brady just went zip, 3 passes to wrong touchdowns. So, anyway, but the Falcons' big win last night, they had to have it. So
had to have it.
Still,
great
victory. I think Falcons are in good shape. If they win 102, they should be in the playoffs. But if they win both games, they know they'll win the division. But the big thing is going to be Christmas Eve at New Orleans. It's always tough to beat the Saints at the Superdome. So, but the Falcons can pull that one off. I think they can beat the Panthers at home and win the division, possibly get all the way back to the Super Bowl. They lost that Super Bowl last year.
Should have won.
Just
gave it away.
So
gave it away. Maybe say, here, they don't want it, you take it.
Maybe they'll make it back. It'd be a great story if they made it back to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, it would be.
I mean, NFC just seems like it's wide open. I mean, there's no real clear-cut favorite. Everybody in the AFC thinks New England's going back.
I thought they thought New England was kind of vulnerable now a little bit.
They've got home field advantage, so it's hard to beat them in New England. So.
Okay.
But Jacksonville making a lot of noise. That Jaguar defense. Be interesting, who the Jags play in the playoffs if they get to home field for the first game.
It'd be great if they did get in the home field advantage.
Right now they're locked in. I guess number 3 seeds at the moment behind New England and Pittsburgh. So they got to go to San Francisco. That's the game that worries me. Garoppolo hasn't lost a game yet. It's a starter. He looks awfully good. So it'll be interesting how the defense does against him this Sunday in San Francisco.
Yeah, also the long, you got the plane ride and the time change and all that kind of stuff. Because that's a 4 o'clock game?
It's 4:05, yeah.
4:05.
4:05.
Well, I guess, the
Falcons play at 1 in New Orleans.
Yeah, their bodies will think it's 7:05, so I guess it won't be too bad. So the Jags playing this weekend out there in San Francisco, and the Falcons played last night, and their next game will be at at New Orleans, as you mentioned, on New Year's Eve, and then on Christmas Eve, and then on New Year's Eve at home against Carolina Panthers. So 2 big games in the season there. On the road, taking on the Saints on Christmas Eve, and then New Year's Eve taking on the Carolina Panthers.
At least they know their destiny. They win both games, they win the division.
Control their own destiny.
Control. So I said don't count them out. And they got a good shot. Like to see him get back to Super Bowl. Be good.
Well, listening to Fox Sports Radio yesterday, Bob, our AM station, Fox Sports Radio, 1370 AM The Buzz. Just listening to like Rich Eisen and Dan Patrick and all those guys. They feel that the current rule is wrong when it comes to Pittsburgh scoring that touchdown, that it should have been a touchdown, but with the current rule the way it is, they can understand why the NFL called it a non-catch.
Yeah, the question is, why haven't they changed the rule? They said it goes all the way back to Des Bryant several years ago, Calvin Johnson lies. I mean, there's 6 or 7 examples where that rule's come into play, and common sense tells you it's a touchdown. It's a touchdown in high school, it's a touchdown in college. Why isn't it a touchdown in NFL?
Right.
I mean,
he had control of it.
The game, if you listen to Jim Nance and do the broadcast, I mean, he calls it a touchdown.
Yeah, everybody did.
Touchdown, it's a touchdown. And they made a good point yesterday. Look at New England's defenders. You see anybody say, look up the scoreboard, and everybody said he juggled it, and they all walked around knowing if the game was over.
They knew it was a touchdown.
Right, everybody. Yeah. I mean, common sense tells you it's a touchdown, so...
But it's the rule the way it is. It is difference between receivers and we're talking about yesterday, receivers and running backs. If a running back passes the zone, they pass the zone there where you cut the goal line, and if they go past that goal line with the ball controlled, they have scored a touchdown, even if they hit the ground or it's knocked out of their hand afterwards. It's a touchdown.
They don't even have to have control. How many times do you see a running back dive over and put the ball up in the air and cross the goal line? They slap it out of his hand,
yeah.
But it crossed the goal line and break the plane, touchdown. So why isn't the same for a receiver?
Yeah.
It's just,
He crossed the goal, he had control of the ball, but when he hit the ground and bounced out, and because of the current rule, it's not a touchdown.
The question is why the rule hasn't been changed.
And that was their big question yesterday,
That's why Tomlin didn't address in his post-game interview, because he's on the rules committee. He had a chance to change it. They haven't changed it, so he said he's not going to cry over spilled milk, not going to discuss the rule, because the question is, why hasn't it been changed? You're on the rules committee, change the rule. So common sense says it should be changed. Maybe they'll change it at the end of this year, but it's just a silly rule.
Yeah. But if it's good for a running back, it should be the same thing for a receiver. If he has control. Now, if he's bouncing the ball around his hands and stuff like that, you can understand that. But we all know that he had control of that ball. He only lost it when he hit the ground.
Yeah. A lot of people said he still had control of his hand underneath the ball. So
yeah,
it's just sad, but it is what it is. I said,
nothing you can do about it now.
Can't do anything about it. I just need Buffalo to beat New England this weekend and get Pittsburgh back home field advantage. That's what's funny. They're all just giving New England home field advantage, but they got to play Buffalo. Buffalo's in the playoff hunt. Then they got to play the Jets, their big rival. Jets have always given them trouble. So 2 more games to be played. Nothing's been decided. So see how it all plays out. But still feel good if I get Antonio Brown. And I said, if Antonio Brown doesn't come back from his injury, the season's pretty much done anyway. I mean, they got to have him.
Gotta have him, huh?
Got to. He's 80% of their offense.
Good.
It's like Julio Jones. You know, at least Julio Jones, chances go way down. So we'll see.
Amazing how one player like that, other than the quarterback, can make that much difference on an offense.
And when you have special players, you know, and they're the main cog in your offense, when you lose them, it's a big blow.
Yeah.
If the Rams lost Todd Gurley, they'd be in trouble. Just like when the
Gurley's having a season, isn't he? Man, way to go, Georgia.
Had a big game against Seattle. Scored 4 touchdowns. So good day for Todd Gurley.
He's just been let loose this year. They were talking about that yesterday. The offense they're running this year with some of the new offensive line they've gotten for the Rams have just opened up some holes for Gurley. And of course, with his talent, he's been able to take advantage of that. And he's just having a good year out there. So go Gurley.
National Signing Day starts tomorrow. Justin Fields will sign with Georgia. The quarterback, number 1 prospect in the state of Georgia, says he will sign early and enroll early. So
now, which team does he play for?
Harrison High School.
So they're the top quarterback? What about the running back that made that surprise visit down to Florida State?
I haven't heard where he's going yet.
Okay.
Everything's been hush-hush.
All right, what other top prospects do you know of right now that Georgia should be signing tomorrow?
I'm not sure they're signed early or not, but Georgia's got the number 3 recruiting class in the nation right now, behind Ohio State and Texas. So they've got a lot of offensive linemen coming in, top receivers, running backs. So Kirby's doing an excellent job in recruiting. So that's the good
Texas has got a good recruiting class, huh?
Yeah, Texas is number 2. Ohio State ranked number 1.
Okay.
By all the so-called people that rank them.
Yeah. Okay.
Different polls have different rankings.
Yeah.
That's the main one. The main source says it's Ohio State 1, Texas 2, Georgia 3 at the moment. But Kirby's doing just a good job. He's keeping the top talent in the state. That's the good news. We've said it for many years. If you just blanket the state of Georgia, you'll have a good recruiting class. So in years past, top talents left the state and gone elsewhere, but they've been able to do a good job. If they're top 10, top 5, top 3, they're most likely signing and going to the University of Georgia, which is good news for us.
That's true. Very true.
Just different. All the coaches, it's just a different time that they changed this early sign day because you're trying to get ready for a bowl game, especially Georgia. You're preparing for Oklahoma. They just still got to be out on that recruiting trail and on your phone constantly. That was an interesting interview with Kirby. Kirby said, he doesn't listen to the news, doesn't listen to, all he does is stay on that phone.
Stay on the phone and try to talk
he's on
to
the
the prospects.
24/7 texting and talking to the players. So he said they want.
How much texting can they do and talking on their own phones?
They must do quite a bit because he said he's on 24/7.
Wow.
He said that's all he does. Goes to practice, stays on his phone, says texts them, calls them. Says they want that daily reminder that, hey, we want you.
Okay. Got to do it because all the other colleges are doing the same thing. They want that prospect. And so, as you mentioned yesterday and to Jonathan a little while ago, nothing really going on here in our area when it comes to meetings or get-togethers and news and stuff like that. Just some tragic things that happen in the area is normal on a weekly basis.
It's a sad story about that maintenance man in South Effingham.
Just fell
12 feet. Put in a light fixture. Head injury and passed away.
That's very sad. Very, very sad to hear. And we thought some prayers out to him and his family and to the school. Just changing a light bulb. Just freak things happen. Got to be careful. I have trouble with ladders. I try to be very careful when I'm up on them. I don't know what it is, but I just have trouble with them. I'll be very careful. And let's see here. This week, we're coming up to Christmas Eve on Sunday and Christmas Day on Monday. And then the following week, which a lot of folks call the 13th month, New Year's Eve on a Sunday this year may cause some folks some problems in small towns when it comes to get together and parties and stuff like that. Usually you don't have a New Year's Eve on a Sunday. So I don't know if anything's going on in this area or not when it comes to get-togethers and parties and stuff like that. Yeah, I guess it would all have to be private affairs in a small town.
It'd be hard to have a party on Sunday when you can't.
Yeah, on Sunday. And then, of course, Monday, New Year's Day is when the big bowl games will be, and I'm sure that'll be the main focus of a lot of folks, especially in this area, when it comes on Monday, New Year's Day.
It's going to be a fun day. Two great games for sure to determine. You can't ask for a better match. They talked about yesterday. Some years past, the semifinal games have been not very fun to watch. They've been blowouts, but these two games should be fun to watch.
Yeah. And there was a tragedy on that Amtrak yesterday. Going 50 miles an hour over the limit for that curve, especially go slow down to 30 miles an hour on that curve over that interstate. It's what the Amtrak train was supposed to do. Slow down to 30, go around the curve over the interstate, then speed back up. But the folks driving the train apparently wasn't paying attention or whatever, I don't know. So there'll be a special investigation there to find out, why didn't you slow down to 30 like you're supposed to?
I was thinking about those people on the highway. Could you imagine seeing that?
Yeah, just coming flying down at you from above. You're just sitting there on the interstate, just beep-bopping along, and then suddenly, the Amtrak is above you, and here it comes right on your car in front of you and back of you. Jeez.
That'd be a scary sight.
Yeah. It makes you wonder on situations like this, how everything is computerized these days and controlled by things. It makes you wonder if Amtrak will say, all right, let's start putting sensors a mile in advance or 2 miles in advance that automatically slows the train down before it gets to certain areas. I mean, they could do that. I mean, you could put the sensors on there and suddenly, boom, that train starts slowing down.
I should mention that's the question. Why was it going?
Why was it going 80 instead of 30?
30.
Well, I'm sure those conductors and folks will be interviewed
I'm sure that question's going to be asked.
Yeah.
Sounds like a lot of lawsuits, what it sounds like to me.
Oh, yeah. There's probably a lot of folks lawyering up right now.
Just a tragic story.
Yeah, it is. You just hate to hear something like that. And human error, it wasn't like, anything was wrong with the track or the train or anything like that. From all reports right now, they're just going 50 miles an hour over the speed limit. One of the passengers said that you could feel the train start leaning. And he said, oh, that's not good. It's not supposed to do this. And then suddenly, boom. And it's just, once again, thoughts and prayers out to all of those folks that happened with. You just wonder. I mean, you figure there would be conductors on there, the engineers that would know what they were doing. Well, Bob, the Winter Olympics are coming up in January, February. Y'all excited about that? No. You're not one of those guys that sits there and likes to watch the ice skating?
No, not really.
Not really?
I'm more of a Summer Olympics kind of guy. Like I said, the Winter Olympics don't do much for me.
I like the bobsledding. I really like the bobsledding. I like the downhill where they go around the little poles going down, back and forth like that. I love stuff like that. I like where they go off and fly through the air like Superman. I don't know what they call that. Where they go down and go fly. The Alpine. Those are some of the ones I like. Those action ones like that.
It's a big interesting story. All the Russians got caught doping, so they can't go.
They can't go as a country, but they can go as individuals.
Right, they didn't dope. They get to go as individuals, but they don't go as the country. They go as, I can't remember the title. They gave them a title.
Yeah, they just go with athlete. No Russian flag will be there. If a Russian wins a gold medal, the Russian national anthem will not be played. Come on, folks, play by the rules.
Sad thing is hardly anybody plays by the rules.
I know everybody's trying to get that little bit of competitive edge.
Everything you see, you just don't know if you're seeing legit or not. So
yeah, just everybody trying to get.
That's where we are in sports. So.
Yeah, well, there's so much money involved, so much prestige involved when it comes to the Olympics. There's national pride involved, and The coaches, their jobs are on the line, trying to produce the best athletes out there, and, pressure put on there by the government. And so you try to bend those rules. We see that in every sport. Everything from football to NASCAR, we're always trying to bend them rules just a little bit to get that little bit of competitive advantage.
So I think it just trickles down. You just see it in college, see it in high school, you see it, it just continues to trickle down.
Oh, yeah.
Just sad.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I wonder what the weather's going to be like on Christmas. Do you have any idea? Have you looked at the long term here?
No idea.
Let's see here. Let's see what the weather's going to be like on Christmas. Because, you always like to have a cool Christmas. Yeah, it makes it feel better when you have a cool Christmas. All right, let's look at it here. Excuse me. Let's see here. Sunday on Christmas Eve, partly sunny with a high of 72. Well, that's not real cool. Sunday night on Christmas Eve, 51. But on Christmas Day, Bob, on Christmas Day, partly sunny, just a 20% chance of rain with a high of 65. So it will be cool on Christmas Day.
Good call for the weather.
Good. I didn't think you would play in the 70s. Buff.
65 is close enough.
65 is close enough. You can play Saturday. Saturday's going to be, Sunday's going to be 72.
It'll be 70s in Florida, so.
Yeah. You'll be down there with your dad? Yeah. It'll be 72 on Sunday, and then 65 on Christmas Day.
Hopefully we'll tee it up one day, so.
I remember when I was growing up, and everybody getting presents. Yeah, on Christmas morning, the kids were all outside with their new gifts, the bicycles and the skates and the outdoor toys and all that kind of stuff. Now you can ride through a neighborhood on Christmas morning where a lot of kids are, and you may see a couple out there, Most of them are outside with all those electronic stuff these days. It's just a different time.
Bicycle's still a big gift for Christmas, so
It's still a big
bicycles.
gift. Yeah. All right, our time is up, Bob. All right, have a good day. All right, the world-famous Butch and Bob Show brought to you by Murphy Builder Supply, located on Northeast Broad Street in downtown Jessup. Also by Mike Bridge Ford in Black Shear, by Jessup Premium Storage, and by Republic Services. Coming up right around 8:45 to 8:50, we're going to give away some more tickets to the Okefenokee Swamp Christmas Light Show and train ride. So we'll give away some tickets to that sometime right around 8:45 to 8:50. So get ready to win at that time. And coming up in just a moment, we'll have your weather forecast. We've got state news from the Georgia News Network coming your way. A quick look at sports, what happened on this day in history, all kinds of good stuff coming up in the next 30 minutes or so. And then we'll have a super blend of Christmas music and country music all day and all night right here on 105.5 FM.
My mama told me you better shop around. Many of y'all are doing just that, and we appreciate it. There's a reason why Woody Folsom Overflow is off to such a great start here in Jessup. That reason? We give you more car for the money and more money for your car.
That's the way we started off doing business 21 years ago. And guess what? We still at it. We go to our new car dealerships and handpick some of the very best pre-owned vehicles. Put them through a rigorous inspection and price every one of them to see that you go home happy. Trade, I'm your boy. Bring whatever you want to trade. Cars, trucks, motorcycles, airplanes, we'll give you more for it. And we'll give you a free powertrain lifetime warranty, good as long as you own the vehicle. This is Woody. Talk to us, and Merry Christmas.
Woody Folsom Overflow, North 1st Street in Jessup. Let's do some business.
Well, Shelby Jean turned 65 Friday.
She did.
But as she said, hey, that ain't but 18 Celsius.
Talk to us, y'all. We give you more car for the money and more money for your car.
Ladies, there is now a fitness club in Jessup just for you. It's called Fitmess. Achieve your New Year's resolution of getting into better shape by joining Fitmess. Why join Fitmess? It's a women's only health club. Personal training available. Massage therapy available. 24/7 access. Includes tanning and a sauna. New clients and members who join now can win a Pink Yeti cooler or a Pink Yeti tumbler. Drawings to be held on December the 22nd. Owner and operator and certified personal trainer, Sandy Silva, invites you to come by and see her new personal training and health club for women, located at 110